What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, the Dark Chameleon. Peace to the Listen, check it, yo. It was a cold April morning under the constellation Aries. The moon was 85% under the luminaries. From the celestial waters to the womb my soul was carried. Then my mother gave birth to a warrior and visionary. But when I speak this truth, I feel like nobody hears me. Every once in a while, I give sight to someone blind, floating on the globe in the heliocentric lie. Dilate your pupils the more you open your eyes. The truth is sitting in plain sight like a disguise. Until my mother's death is revenge, I won't feel satisfied. It haunts me when I think about the phone call when she died. A river worth of tears shed from my eyes. So I looked up at the sky and I asked God why. It's been 21 years, I'm still waiting for a reply. Since birth I've been at war, the attack our undeveloped minds. Indoctrination camps making us dumb, deaf and blind. I'm always thinking solutions, we are running out of time. The dirty witchcraft is weak, I see through all the lies. I clearly analyze all the symbols and the signs. When I connect dots, the truth starts to align. The people are the power, you can never eclipse my shine. I say the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. They say hell burns and there's a one-way ticket for me. You create your heaven or hell whether or not you believe. I'm God and Satan, I have to balance out my chi. One day these seeds I plant will bloom so you can be all you can be. Never give up and always hold your head high, cause you are God, there's no need to look to the sky.
What's good? Might have some new music soon. Connecticut. Connecticut means long river. I think. I forgot what tribe. We got the Mohegan. I don't even think those are the real. I don't know, man. I don't know who's the real native tribes here, or indigenous, or whatever label. Aboriginal, so many labels, but I know they own tons of casinos up here. Foxwoods, Mohegan Sun. Peace to Forever Love, 774. Dom, Melissa T. Faceplant, Candy. Whenever I'm writing a rhyme, I think of that melody. Row, row, row your boat. Believe it or not, that's a melody I think a lot of musicians use. I want to try to get a couple more people. Connecticut River is filthy anyway. Let me add that in. Except when you go up Connecticut River near Canada, it's clean. But I think a lot of the rivers, like the Mississippi, the Colorado's drying up because they're damming everything off. All the mouths of the river are freaking destroyed from factories. But it's pretty much open topic. If you want to come up, Dom, and speak on something, you're welcome to. Oops, what did I just do? I did have this one video. I'll give a sneak preview of let's see if it won't let me. It's too big. Damn it. I could upload it or share it. I'll just upload it in a little bit because I got it finished. Let me see where that video went. They've been spraying like a mother effer here. I don't know where that video went. Yeah, the Pequot, yup, Mohegan. I wonder if the Shinnecock motivated north to Connecticut, because it ain't far at all. I learned when Old Dirty Bastard's album came out, I learned his great-great-grandfather was the chief of the Shinnecock tribe. And that's when I learned the so-called black people were the Indians. But I didn't realize how big of a lie and a cover-up all that was until I started digging. Just like I didn't know my German ancestors lived in tribes, just like the native and every other tribe. Yeah, there's a lot of mercury in the Connecticut River. They tell you not to eat the fish, but hey, what's a little mercury gonna do? You know, we eat fluoride and who knows what else.
Look what's happening to our food.
Talk about a butt injection. That chicken had a big dunk-a-dunk. Nah, seriously. That's why when Cage said yesterday, you should just shut up and deal with it, that shit kind of fired me up. No disrespect to Cage, because, you know, I think he's very intelligent and a cool dude, but I'm not going to see shit and know this is going on and just shut up and deal with it. You know, China don't need to go to war with us. Not only do they bank off the poison they put on our shelves, look what they're doing. Crazy shit. They always say truth is stranger than fiction. What's up, Dom? Let's see what you wrote in the back. I don't know. Let's break the word environment down. Is the vire part supposed to say environment? Because that's what it means, environment. Environmental.
I was just sharing that, Charles. Good morning, by the way. Good afternoon, by the way, Charles.
I know, I was just being sarcastic.
You know, I get it. Also, I was just trying to get the definition of atmosphere, you know, because you're showing pictures of them spraying crops, you know, so how does it affect the environment and the atmosphere? By the way, that whole thing about whether Cage broke it down or not, keeping quiet is so you can get into a moment of listening from within. So then you can come to awareness of, has anything to do with you and what are the parts? Unfortunately, a lot of people start acting out first, opposed to going inwards.
Yeah, he didn't. The way he said it, though, I wasn't. I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, you can say, be at peace, be in silence, shut the fuck up, tape yourself to the wall. Because again, a lot of people, they want to do something, which is fine, but it's nice to be
I'm starting to realize nothing might be able to be done. That sucks. It hurts to know people just don't give a fuck. It bothers me. It's like, god damn. People are that. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't want to judge people and put labels on them. I don't know what's wrong with people. I can't call it, but I could have my ideas and opinions.
That's what we have, Charles. That's what we share with each other. Ideals, opinions, and how one experiences it. That's their view. I think I heard you on another panel, and maybe to share a little bit. A lot of things that are done in different cycles affects the energies. So when people talk about certain children being mistreated, there's people that understand energy, how it gets manipulated. It's like when you play music, it does manipulate. Whether it's rap, Baroque music, country music, there's a lot of energy that gets manipulated with it.
That's very true.
People start understanding, So when people start understand energy, then they can apply maybe discernment to it. So to know, okay, am I supposed to do anything about it? Am I supposed to just observe it? Am I to share things with other people? Person will know once they go inwards, hence knowledge to know. But I get it, sometimes when it gets later in the movie, and most people are saying, I don't agree with the system without understanding the system.
I get passionate because I watch people die from cancer and they got sick from products. And it's like, I remember learning my mother had cancer and why. And I was like, well, what about the, what are those people called? The, not the FD, what is it? Food Drug Administration. That's the FD.
FDA?
Yeah, how they go and they check food out and make sure. And I started looking into all these products. And the crazy part I learned is they didn't check products till after the fact. They started feeding it to rats. And they even say, well, we're only, it might not be as poisonous to a human because we're just feeding it to a rat. And I'm thinking, if a rat's poisoned, so will we in larger amounts. But yeah, they don't check till after the fact. And I'm pretty sure people pay them off to get shit slipped by because it's all about money at the end of the day with these people. And it being about money creates other avenues for them, like population control and many other things that come along with it. Whether people believe that stuff's real or not, it's happening every day.
So people that smoke, are they not actually harming their vessels?
Yeah, I smoke.
Okay. So whose choice is that?
Mine.
Sure it is. Now FDA can say.
Well, let me say something about that.
Yes.
When I buy my pack, they're telling me it's poisonous. When you buy the baby powder my mother used, it doesn't say, Surgeon's general warning, putting this powder on your vagina will cause ovarian cancer. It doesn't say that.
Okay, so Charles, at that point, you tell a child, do not use that wheelbarrow to go down a hill. What do you think that child's going to do? He's going to take that wheelbarrow and go down the hill.
I'm going to sit in that wheelbarrow. No,
bingo. But do you see the reverse psychology that goes on? So now this goes back to, they're saying to you cancer based on what you take in your mouth. But what about the atmosphere? If you knew knowingly that when we're using the internet contribute to your mother's cancer cells to be activated, what would you do about it?
Well, I would thank God we never had internet.
Okay. And what happened if you found out certain types of frequencies that you play with your instruments or how you sing affects somebody else's cells, and then that gets activated. What would you do
I would,
then? This one
out
got
of
the job,
respect, I would have to not play it if it bothered them out of respect.
but then you would have to be aware if all of a sudden all the energy started showing itself and colors, you would see nothing but maybe a bunch of laser, pointing,
Yeah.
and then you realize you're going through all of that. But for most people, they can only see it when it's down into the dumbed down version called the waking state with our senses. Never pondering, is it really about what we eat as much as what our bodies can absorb externally? But yet we're told, well, cancer is from smoking, cancer is from this, diabetes is from this. Yeah, they play a role, but they're just parts.
Well, is it the tobacco that kills you, or it's
I
what
don't
they
think it's the
put in the
tobacco.
tobacco that kills you?
I'm with you on there. Yes, because tobacco is like the
natives smoked tobacco forever and they never got sick.
Well, got to keep in mind too, you have to look at their environment. Natives probably a lot of times had certain types of shoes that they wore, moccasins or whatever, or barefooted, the type of clothes they are, the environment that they're in on a regular basis. Most of us go inside of shelters, like an apartment that has air conditioning and heat. That affects us. Think about a person that lives on the 18th floor. What kind of grounding are they getting now when they're 18 floors up?
Do you think I could get grounding on my floor? It's wood. Second floor.
You could probably tap into the grounding sockets, like the sockets that have grounding, or connect a cable right to your grounding lug in your panel. Yeah, you can do some sort of grounding.
You ever see those generators, Dom? I remember growing up in an apartment building, and in the backyard near the swing set, they had this green box, and it would hum all the time. And it would, I think it was a generator for electricity. I used to sit on it, and you could literally, I don't know, it felt good to sit on it, and the humming sound, the vibration going through your body. Just like those chairs they used to have in the mall, I'd never forget. I used to sit in them because I could never afford one. But you would sit in a chair and it would have certain frequencies you put on, and it would literally cure my back pain. The chair would vibrate.
Yeah, some people enjoy that. Some people, Charles, enjoy playing the drums, for example. There's a certain beat to certain instruments, like certain cymbals and drums. And that ideal of sitting on something that had a kind of a hum to it could be advantageous for you, but meanwhile, its surroundings, maybe the insect kingdom or whatever, it might have a different kind of effect on them.
Yeah, I gotta start, Melissa, using my trinity of herbs to start cleansing my body. I gotta really, because next month I'll be 43. In April will be my birthday, so I'm going to me, that's my new year. That's my new year. So
You're an Aries.
I will be getting more serious about my health, because I outlived my mother by a year, which is insane. I see a lot of that nowadays, where children outlive their mother's age, which is crazy.
Well, you outlived her vessel. Who she is, she might still be with you, Charles. If we're going to play the ideal that energy does not ever die.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday that I think one way people live forever is by having children over and over, because you just it's like copying yourself. Even though you're coming together with a different woman, you're still copying yourself. It's like a rebirth, because your child is still you no matter what. I guess that's how you could live forever in a physical form.
Well, your behavior and personalities might play a role. This is where they play with the ideal that we have bloodlines. If you're caring about your own family, there's a good chance you're setting up for future generations when you choose to come back in that bloodline. But if you're nasty and mean to other people, you might have to jump their bloodlines to learn a lesson. This is why when people are vicious or mean to the opposite gender or different people of different color of skin, they don't got a clue what fucking game they're playing. Because if they did, they'd realize, why would I want to do karma now become what I resent? Opposed to just take it for what it is. We shouldn't be offended because that looks different than us. We should actually be inviting. Tell me your story, share it with me. Then we can start talking about ideals, concepts. How does energy work? Because most of us forget. Most of us are too busy bickering, complaining, trying to be greedy, even living poor, but realize something else is going around giving us all this technology. And some people are participating in creating the phone, the car, the radio, the internet. And forgetting that we constantly have energies above us, like the sun and the moon and cloud. Do they die? What are they? When we pollute our oceans or we pollute our air, does it disappear? Is that what we're giving our next generation, let alone us? Again, those are things that ponder, I guess, if people like to ponder. Most people spend more times not just reacting. I went on, Charles, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, you're cooking. I'm just showing pictures as you speak.
And what do you think each person quickly associates to each of those pictures? Another story is going to be thinking, oh, Madonna must be bad. The one beside it must be bad. The other one must be bad. Oh, the tarot card must be bad.
I don't think none of them are bad.
No, you don't, Charles. But I'm just saying, when we're showing things to each other, we're using our visual, and in that, it's gonna reveal whatever ongoing program we have. Opposed to seeing the picture on the left-hand side for the very first time, I said, can I actually erase the idea that's Madonna? Let alone that somebody told me that she's doing certain symbols for a certain type of club. What purpose does it serve? Forget about whether or not I think it's right or wrong, good or bad. And then we have another picture beside it, a horn thing. Okay, so humans, have they been manipulated many times? I don't know.
And he has the caduceus where his penis is, which I think people they misdefine these symbols, and they say, well, Baphomet is evil. Look, it's a man with boobs. Well, how about they're combining both man and woman in one? And the where his head is, you got the two horns, which could be the split in the source. I don't know, the duality, but you got the crown chakras lit up with the flame there, the light. I mean, all these people are doing the same symbol for a reason. And it could have to do with energy.
Using the right
I'm
hand
looking at the 8 over the guy's head for infinity. Each one's a little different. I think Madonna was I forgot who she was mimicking in that picture. It was another lady deity, an Egyptian deity, I think. Could be wrong. What's her name? She stands like, oh man, I thought her name started with an M. I could picture the picture in my head. She got like wings. What's her name? Mithra? Not Mithra. Anyway.
Well, I guess the inquiry would be, what does one want, lack when they see this picture? Because it's obviously not a need for most people if they're caught up in the physical. Their needs would be food and shelter. So what do they lack to understand here? Are they saying that as above, so below? Are we talking about polarities? The one picture that gives us a little bit more, it's the half question, whether light or dark. Again, it's being presented, Charles, I'm just saying this out loud, being presented to information like this when most people probably wouldn't be able to understand it, let alone how would it serve them. It's just playing on their imagination and it'll probably put more noise in their head. But for the ones that do want to learn, I said, okay, fine. Did you see all our first layers of distractions? Yeah, well, that's what they are. You know, it's like being a Christian. Most times now, most of them are just words only, or Satanists, or a person that's a liberal. You know, those are lower level programs. You know, now they're the ones that are going to respond and say, "What about me?" I'm like, "You're revealing yourself again." You know, again, you know, the infinite sign. What is it? Is it the number 8? What's the energy behind the infinite sign? You know, Madonna could just be a puppet, and she's showing certain people that are in the known. You know, she's working for us, and we're sending a message through a painting. In this particular case, something that the masses like watching, like the Super Bowl. That's Coliseum stuff. Again, that's entertaining the visual. What's the energy behind it? You know, somebody wants to understand, okay, why my crop's always growing well every third year. Then you have to understand the energy. Understand. What are we under? You
Or
know,
understand the soil too.
the soil plays a
Maybe their
big role.
soil don't have minerals, but yeah, I think it has to do a lot with energy.
Yeah,
Everything
you know,
does.
then people will study and find out, yeah, the luminaries are aligned in a certain way every third year. So it's favorable to grow that particular crop. I'm using numbers
You
to
know,
gauge it. Right?
you know the infinite sign is an 8. It also reminds me of the Ouroboros. It also reminds me of the analemma the sun travels in. It's shaped like that. The analemma. I mean, you could go on and on to synchronize symbols. It's like infinite. It's probably your higher self's infinite.
Well, over his head opposed to a halo. So that could be the rebirth energy that they're talking about. You know, you got to keep doing this over and over again. Hence why the Asians, you know, have been conditioned to think that they like the number 8, but don't like the number 4, the energy of time. I wouldn't think that we're on some sort of in some sort of matrix that everything doesn't have its place and everything has its subdirectories and directories.
Just like they say my birthday is a special day in the occult world. I just figured out why. Because April 19th is some sort of day for witches, some sacrifice day. Some lady said that's I told her my birthday and she said that's a powerful number. I just figured out, you know, what all that meant. I was looking at my birthday to see what happened on that day. A lot of bad shit happened on my birthday. A lot of bad energy.
Or unexplained energy. That's why the word birthday. You know, why don't we gauge it based on our conceiving day? Because we do have entry points. And in those entry points, it's like people that interpret dreams can interpret, oh, so Charles, you were born at this particular time under these particular signs. This is what's going to happen for you in all these different ages. When you're the age between 10 and 12, this is what's going to happen. Between age of 20 to 30, this is what's going to occur. Now, if it's favorable, meaning that you participate in all of that, and also you have to account other energies. It'd be different if you were a soul being living by yourself, but you're not. You're around other people. So there's a good chance whoever was reading your signs understood it. Now, how you interpret it, you know, is it bad, good, negative, positive? Again, those are programs trying to make sense of things. And even that, what is sense? My visual, my touch. I'm entertaining ideals here, Charles. So if anybody hears this and they're thinking I have answers, I said, no, I'm entertaining ideals. Then I'll go quiet and I'm like, oh, okay. That doesn't serve you, though. But at least you share it out loud. So in this particular case, you're channeling. Oh, okay. You know, there's times where we do share things, whether for ourselves and other people will hear it. I said, well, why do you keep saying the word damn in God? Are you trying to damn source? Especially if you value the concept you're a God, then you'd be damning yourself. Again, it's just words, but words have energy.
Peace, Alchemos 83. This is one of the first Masonic pictures I found like this, but I've seen that figure before. Stick figure, which is at 290-degree angles, which is half of a complete 360. It's 180. So a square is 180, right? 290-degree angles is a square. So how would two squares make a complete circle? You could draw a circle with two squares.
Four corners in a circle.
Yeah.
Even when we play with numbers, 90, 9, 180, 9, 360, 9, 45, 9, 135, 9. Must be a reason why they use the number 9 a lot.
This right here looks like a 9, and also it reminds me of the yin and yang, especially. I don't know what that is up there in the stars. I forgot what that's called, but that looks like the yin and yang's forming.
Yeah, yin and yang, 6 or 9. Have the 666 inverted, 999. Wonder why. See everything backwards.
I forgot what this is called. Damn it.
I myself too. I've remembered the one on the left there looks like a shell, like when people have.
The one on the top left, that's the shit. Someone in the chat will know. It is half of the swastika too.
I think the swastika has more angles to it. This is more curvature. This is more nature. Yeah. The swastika.
Thank you, Fibonacci code, or Fibonacci sequence. Yes. Thank you, Forever Love 774.
Those cherubins, what do they call it? Cherubins? Little babies.
Yeah, why do they use babies with like angels with wings? Like look at Valentine's Day. You got a baby with wings and a bow and arrow. Like, why would a baby come flying to you? They use children a lot. It's weird.
It could be weird, Charles, or it could just be a distraction. It could be some other hidden meaning behind it, if there's meaning to it.
True. Oh my God. Chuck's a Satanist. He's showing Satan pictures. They don't know nothing about it. I think, personally, they flip-flopped everything. I'm not saying this is fact, but I have a theory that Satan might not be as bad as they're saying. And the real true evil is in the Bible. The leader of the Bible, that so-called God, or I think they flip-flopped it. Could be. What better trick, right? Not saying it's factual.
If some sort of angel is disobedient and does not want to serve, wouldn't it almost encourage people that want to follow to do the same thing? Don't follow me. I think the ones that are true Satanists don't even value Satan. And they're doing the work of Satan. Serve thyself. Do what thy will. And hence why they use the word ego. Edge God out. Don't be concerned about God, even though you're living under their reign. Like I said, if I'm defiant and people follow me, I said, then you're missing it. What do you mean? Then be like God again, serving. You guys are serving me. And that's why a lot of Satanists do not serve Satan. They'll say it in words only, The only difference is the people that are Christians are the most hypocrites. They say
Right.
they're following Christ and all that, but yet they want to have their cakes and eat it. They still want to live here, send their kids to military. So how is that serving humanity opposed to you're into depopulation? Well, then your kids are helping.
No, they're just fighting for our freedom. That's all.
Okay, isn't that what Satan is trying to do? Fighting
Yeah,
for my freedom.
I'm just being sarcastic.
No, I know you are, Charles, but at the same time, you're putting words out there. And regardless if it's done sarcastically, wittily, it should be challenged. And I just say it out loud. I'm not challenging you, I'm challenging the energy. You know, because I would have to get to know you as a human being and then realize, how does that serve me to know how Charles runs his kingdom that I never get to see? And I'm talking about the internal kingdom, not the external kingdom. That I could say, fuck Charles, you got people to make that kingdom. You know, so now I could ask, how did you convince them? Well, you know how sheeps are. They're
I was
loyal.
destroying my temple for years. I
think
hated
all
this
Charles.
place.
Yeah.
I was on a roller coaster ride. I would crash, get to my highest point, crash. I had to crash a lot of times to realize a lot of stuff. Because I'm just hard-headed.
We all are, Charles, to a certain point. We have those moments. You know, most of us are rebelling a system that we don't understand. It's when you start understanding parts. That's where people say, I see the bigger picture. I'm like, okay, so share some of the details. You know, just to share. You know, I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to debate you on your views. You know, it's kind of like the eye of the beholder, Plato's cave idea. How do you explain somebody else your views? You could share, whether spoken or written. You know, outside of that, people can pick it up if you're actually in each other's presence, body language. But even that, how does it serve? If somebody says, Dom, you know, I like to be a shepherd for sheep, or somebody else goes, I'd rather be the wolf. Okay. You know, because even the shepherd eventually is going to want to eat the sheeps. At least the wolf's being honest. I want to eat it now.
Like they say, real eyes, real eyes, real eyes. I like that saying. Whoever put that together did a good job. Like, you know, people have so-called freedom of speech. They could say what they want. They could have their opinions. I'm all for it. But disrespect, I don't know why I'm so big on respect. People flap their gums about everyone on here. And to me, talking shit all the time, it'll catch up to you, man. I've seen it plenty of times.
Again, Charles, freedom of speech, respect that you might be talking about is you'll hear other people. It's not for us to say that we agree or disagree, but it's freedom of speech. They're not talking about freedom of action. They're talking about freedom of speech. And even that freedom of speech is something that's promoted by the governments, not corporations. So if somebody wants to talk on somebody else's plane, I said, no, you're in somebody else's house. Respect it. Meaning that if you know that what you're going to say, there's going to be a reward or punishment for it. I lean more towards rewards. People learn more when they have a reward burning their hands. A punishment, most people try to ignore. What did you learn? And in this particular case, freedom of speech, because in past, and even in different parts of the world now, if you speak openly, you're taped to the wall. You're going to be hanged. You're going to be jailed. You're going to be drugged up. Now, question is, let the certain people that have the awareness how to speak. The rest of you be those foot soldiers. You know, like when they did the freedom of speech with Malcolm X or Gandhi, they were just trying to find out all the people that were privately talking. Because the elites do the same thing. You never hear them talking openly. And if they do, they talk past most people by using their media because they're counting on most people to be asleep. If people really understand what freedom of speech is, freedom to speak. Who am I to tell you if I agree or disagree? That's not my role. I'm going to hear you. I'll show you respect by hearing you. By me telling you I agree or disagree, that's me. That's myself. That's me. I agree. What the fuck are you agreeing upon? The sound, the frequency? You've never lived in my vessel, so what the fuck are you agreeing upon? They're laughing, Charles. And as we talk more openly on these things without having some sort of discernment and all that, they're not concerned. Business as usual. Reset's going to continue. Why? Because they're telling you exactly what they think they're going to do. We've never told them that you could do whatever you want. As we're using their devices, their cars, their grocery stores, the ones that actually put an effort and choose to be, let's say, farmers or hunters, all the power to them. Well done for them. Not sure
What's
who's
so
there.
wrong with people saying they agree? That's B.
Hey, SB.
Greetings.
Like when I say I agree when you say something,
Mhm.
what's wrong with that?
It's not about wrong. What are you agreeing upon? Because it sounds nice? Because it's
No.
something you can relate to? Resonates one thing. When I'm saying that,
Yeah, that's why I say I agree. I relate to it.
Yeah. When it comes with the sweet, you have to bring the sour. When somebody says they agree, they're revealing there must be other things they must disagree. Now, if they agree or disagree with their own story, that's fine. But to agree or disagree with another person's story when we don't know each other. Most people do not know each other. And if they did they live in their communities, their families? Probably not. So we're all looking at it from our own perception. So we're sharing things at that point, ideals. If I commit a crime, I know I'm going to go to court and they're going to prosecute me. But a lot of times I come onto these panels and people think for some reason it's their fucking responsibility to prosecute us. When? Where? Especially when we have the ideal of freedom of speech. Now, I get it. Somebody might turn around and say, Dom, I just don't agree with you. I said, well, keep that inwards. Why? Because that doesn't serve. And who does it serve? It serves the fucking guy that's me. Anyway, I went on. Sorry, guys.
What's up, B? How's everything going?
What's good? It's warm out here today.
Yeah, it is. Oh, we got the MasterCard symbol. Saturn. The all-seeing eye. The Vesica Pisces, the vagina, the mouth, the eye. All portals. The fish. That looks like Pisces fish almost. That 12 months. Does that say sun? I don't know, I can't see. There's gonna be an eclipse over in April 8th. I can't wait because I think I'll be able to see it. I got the map that Dean sent me right here. Now, I think I'll be able to see the eclipse. The problem I have with these eclipses are the ones like this that come from the opposite way. How's that even possible if everything rises in the east? How does the eclipse start from the west? Is anyone there? Or is my headphones fucked up? Mic check. Check the mic.
Yep.
Oh.
Clear.
Look at this shit. Shout out to Simple Truth TV for finding this. 2 different sports. They both played 20 seasons, both got 5 championships, both got 7 championship appearances. They both played for one team. Look at, how do you have the both same percentage of postseason wins in different sports? And 3 peats, they both got 1. And if you do 4 minus 2, you get 2. Or you could do 2 times 4, which is 8, and that's the other number Kobe wore. What was Jordan's? Oh, he wore 45. I was about to say, I thought he wore 42 or something. I can't wait for that eclipse. I really hope it ain't cloudy. And it's going to come right by Connecticut. I think it's going to be just a little north. It's going to come right over Maine, right over New York State. I think I should be able to see it. What the fuck is a subsolar?
So Charles, when you show that drawing or that stat between Jeter and Kobe, if somebody put those same 2 characters and all their indifferences, which would be thousands, how would that actually pale? You know, looking for 2 sources and looking for some 6 similarities compared to the thousands of indifference with each other, how does that serve?
I don't know. He's making a point that a lot of this shit is just a stage, man. It's a show they're putting on. Now sports reminds me of the Harlem Globetrotters. It's just a show, man. It's not even a sport no more. It's a complete business. And hey, maybe it's always been a fucking show and it was never about skills and playing a sport for exercise and just because you like to do it and you were good at it. Now it's just like a script. And I don't know.
Again, Charles, having 5 degrees, in this case, 5 similar stats compared to the many other degrees out there, how does that serve? It's like in a needle in a haystack. I go out looking for 2 different haystacks and I find 5 similarities, but what about all the other straws? This is the game that people do. They're trying to fit their points in with other points. How does it fit? This is how people become narrow-minded opposed to be very receptive and see it for what it is. There's many possibilities. And just mentioning 2 characters with 5 similarities, compare that, where's the other chart going on? Where Kobe probably doesn't eat the exact same way as Jeter, let alone sleep, let alone have different kids. These are all these different programs. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people to say, do you see the glass half full and half empty? There's your first trick. And then, hey, let's get them to see which one they pick. There's another one. Opposed to the wise child will turn around and say, but Dom, can I talk about the painting? Sure you can. What about the table? Sure you can. Dom, can I talk about I don't see words? Yes, you can talk about that too if you want. There's your freedom of speech. That's freedom, that's conditioning. Whatever that character is doing, he's already been manipulated.
I would have to ask Simple Truth TV what he meant by that.
Then you'd be talking to his program.
Yeah. Everything's a program.
Yeah, it's similar to setting up guide rails along a charted path.
What was that? This picture?
Noting specific points. The similarities between Jeter and Kobe.
Yeah, they're
Because
both.
again, if we have, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they're both popular so-called icons in sports. Go ahead, B.
So it would be an easy attractant for the eye and the mind if you saw a picture of your favorite sports player or a famous sports player. You can use those as almost guiding markers and chart a specific path for a desired outcome. Like Gam was posing the question, what does it serve? Don't look behind the curtain over there. Never mind that little man pulling the strings.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to show, that it's a script. Behind the fucking curtain, pulling the strings are, they're fooling the people, man, that pay to go watch a fucking scripted sports game, and they think, oh, it ain't scripted, man. That shit. What does it all matter? It's a distraction. In reality, there's more important things in sports.
Yeah, there's paintings hundreds of years old that we could look at, but if everybody was focused on the finer things in life, the museums would be packed, the libraries would be full, all the books would be checked out that we want to look at. So instead, they hand out bread and circus or bread and wine, and our stadiums are 20,000 seats. The parks would have too many footprints, there'd be no grass.
Well, now is the digital age, and this is going to be the time people are really going to be programmed. Sometimes I think, what does all this matter? Does any of this even really matter? You could have all the knowledge in the world, but what's the purpose? I think experience creates wisdom, and it also creates, you could get the best knowledge and wisdom from people with experience in that area. You wouldn't go to a person, like I've said before, who read a book on painting. You want to talk to the person who's worked painting 8 to 10 years, who've done commercial, residential, they know the tricks. You don't want to speak to a person who just read a book. But some people might want to. I wouldn't.
Yeah, the book reality is different than the field. And the field is different than the book. Or it could be said the mind is different than the field.
Just like my friend went to school, I forgot the name of the school in Rhode Island, to be a chef. I think it was Johnson and Wales. No. Anyway, the point is, he told me when he was done with college, he said, because I asked him years down the road, I asked him, did you ever get your degree? I'm pretty sure, I think he said no. And I asked him, he said he never paid college back. Now, I don't know how it works. I don't know if you got to pay them before they give you your degree. I don't know if you can graduate and get it if you're still in debt. But either way, he said, my point is he learned more on the job, obviously, because you're than he learned in school. He said school didn't prepare him for anything. He was, you know, going to work for these companies to be a chef. He learned more from his boss on the job site than school didn't prepare him for what he was, you know. And I thought, what a waste of fucking 4 or 5 years, and all that money that was wasted. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can get my friend. He still works in Florida now. He works in Miami, and he works for a rich place, and he's very good at cooking. He learned from a child. His family was from Greece. His parents owned a pizza place that used to be across from where I lived, and he learned cooking at a young age in a restaurant. I think that benefits when your family has a business and you grow up in that business. It could benefit you more than you going to work for a corporation. What do you guys think on that?
I've seen that as well.
It's a bit of both, Charles. You know, I'm pretty sure the gentleman that's the chef has to read the ingredients or whatever he buys in some sort of, go to a grocery store, let alone do a menu or something. That's something you learn in school. You have to learn how to read or write. For most people, they go to school because the end goal is to earn money. So most people aren't going to pay attention by being an apprenticeship for some sort of reward, like being a better service. For most people, it's all about money or grades. So to think that schooling didn't help him in some way would be very naive. We live in an age where the written work and spoken are always needed. Now, does a person need to know how to write if that's all they do is speak with each other and they communicate? Probably not. But if you're living in where you're working like a shelf and you're working where there's menus, you have to learn that particular teaching, which is writing and reading. So to think that the schooling system didn't help somebody. Now, does it dumbs down a little bit? Yeah. Even doing physical stuff dumbs us down to a certain point. We're spending a numerous amount of energy fueling a vessel, let alone sheltering it. That might or might not be us. I lean towards it isn't us, but because then I have to ask the question, who's speaking, who runs it? Well, those are the games I play with myself, with the self, the program, as I call it. You know, obviously, if people value food and shelter so much, then why do we put so much value in people getting paid a lot of money to entertain us? I get it if it's, you know, there's some people that want to entertain us with humor or sports, but when it gets to a point where it gets so lopsided, it needs to question us as a species. You know, do we need that many doctors and lawyers if we're all taking care of ourselves and handling our own affairs? Probably not. But because we have all of them, then obviously it shows that we're not doing that. Not to take away from your friend that probably learned a craft. You know, 1 degree and 1 leg span.
I'm gonna see if I could get my friend on here to interview him. I don't care about labels, that, you know, Master Chef and all that. Me, I'm saying he can cook better than probably a lot of people. I've always told him he should have his own restaurant, but I don't know why he never went towards that. I mean, he was a chef to where it's not just cooking. You gotta order all the stuff that you need. It's budgeting money. It's more than just, you know, you gotta know business too. It's like being a fucking, what do you call them people on a job site? Not a carpenter, a contractor. Damn, fucking slow right now. Contractors, they got to know about, at least the contractors I talk to, know plumbing, electric, they know it all. What about I don't know, whatever. I can't think straight for some reason today.
Have an episode cooking with Chuck and have him break everything down and have a cool build based on foods and cooking.
I hated cooking until about 2 years ago. I cooked some food. I just followed the directions, and then through trial and error, I cooked my first turkey 2 years ago, and then I realized cooking ain't that bad. And then your end result, if you cook it good with the right amount of seasoning and this and that, it's worth it in the end. It's like any other craft. I've always did hands-on work.
I enjoy my food. I'm trying to have more on the table from my personal garden this year.
These are pictures of a temple. I mean, look at, you can barely see it, but those are granite blocks, I'm pretty sure. This is where all the dead people went. They make stuff like this, catacombs for them. They pile all their bones up. So silent. Silent night. Don't make me start singing. Monday's Gabriel. Tuesday's Kamel. Raphael. Sakiel or Sachiel. Anal. Anal Friday? Jesus. Who would name their kid Anal? Anel. Yeah, that's my son Anal. He's with the Cheeks Up movement. Yeah, that's for Friday. It says it, Anal. The children of El. My name has L in it. Charles. But I rather stick to my German name Karl, which means free man. It's my fantasy that one day I'll be free, truly.
I heard that.
It's just a dream, a fantasy. Because unfortunately, you know, people are too comfortable. Or it just reminds me of a snake. A snake gets you comfortable, lures you in, moves all intriguing to get you like frozen because it moves so elegant. While you're becoming hypnotized by the snake, it strikes you least expect it. That's why snakes are very wise. People look at snakes like they're the weakest because they have no arms and legs. You ever see them big snakes in the Middle East? How they quickly will slither up on you. I'm talking, that shit looks freaky to me. How they just quickly slide up to you. I was watching some videos. These I think they were pythons, or no, king cobras. Sorry, because they have the hood, and they were coming out of this tall grass out of nowhere. This guy was recording them, and two or three rolled up to him, and it just spooked me out. And I'm just watching the video. I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine being in India and they just roll up on you out of the grass. Because they're tall. You know, these snakes are huge. This is a underground labyrinth, I guess. It's in a church. And this is what the grounds look like. Hopefully the pictures aren't. That picture and this picture. It's in a mountain, I think. And here are some of the diagrams that show. And almost nice and cool it must be in this place in summer.
That's what I think about as well. It's the temperature regulation. Cool in the summer and not freezing in the winter.
Yeah, don't they say the farther you go down, this is the inside of these places. They say the farther you go down, the colder it gets. No, I don't agree with that, man. Because I've seen them digging miles underground, and it'd be so warm down there. It's crazy. It's warm, they say, but yet you can see steam coming out of your mouth. I don't know. Maybe it's the oh, tired.
And in the Paradise Fires in California, we had some crew go out there and they run their water lines below the frost line.
It's smart. I just seen a video of a guy. He had a a greenhouse in China, and this is where it snows, northern China. And he had these, I don't know what kind of pipes they were. They were made out of like a cement. I've seen these pipes before. They're the old school kinds. Like when you break them, it's kind of like pottery. When you break them, they smash. It sounds like glass. You know what I mean? This type of, it's got like a smooth outer. It looks like they made them in a pottery class, these pipes, but he had them kind of under the ground, going and up against the trees and plants. Dead winter, and he lights a fire in that whole strip of a pipe. I'm gonna pull the video up. Warms up the greenhouse. And I think that's what we live in, a giant greenhouse. I would love to go in some of these old temples, man. Like just looking at it, thinking of what type of people lived in these temples. The energy that's left behind. These things look melted. Like something melted the face of this thing.
That looks like cheap rent to me.
Cheap
You
what?
just have a cheap rent.
Cheap rent.
If you had a cliffside nearby, you could just carve out your own little hole, or a mansion.
I was wondering who was typing back here. I seen 18 things in the back chat. I thought Dom was cooking back there. Sometimes he leaves a bunch of stuff to read. Look at this fuck. Oh, I gotta stop swearing. Look at this. Oh wait, take that off. I found this picture, this old advertisement. I don't know if it's old or was recently made, but look at this. Dom, what do you think of this? Do you think this is original? I mean, it looks 80s to me. Send and watch splendid and captivating films 24/7. And look at this picture. This is funny, yo. Like who did this? That might actually really be him. I wouldn't doubt it. These fucking crazy freaks. Like, we're all grown ups here. I'm not even gonna bring it up, but I've heard some crazy stories about in the Middle East when they were at war, of what they were doing in the mountains with goats and shit. Some soldiers caught, and it's like, dude, I don't know what I would do if I fell upon something like that. I'd probably blow my head off. Imagine having nightmares for the rest of your life, visualizing that horrifying scene you come across. No disrespect to people who live over there. I mean, it's not their fault there's crazy people like that. Pretty sure it goes on in a lot of other countries. Oh shit. This sucks. You can't even see the the equation. Corn syrup, sucrose, or glucose, or fructose. Very terrible for the body.
Burns holes in you.
That fake sugar. It'll rot your teeth out. They say it's addicting like drugs because it is a drug. I would like to challenge Dom to a game of chess.
Charles. Do you enjoy playing it?
I think a private conversation around a chessboard would be very valuable.
Those are the best ones, B.
Oh, I was muted. But the first thing you said, I couldn't really hear what you said when I said I challenged Dom to a game of chess. If I had a digital chessboard, I would do it.
But my question was why? Like for outcome, or just to learn the game itself? Like why the pieces have changed, why we use all the different cubes, or just
Yeah, like
okay.
Like B said, like the conversation and just to see how you play. It's not for bragging rights or none of that childish shit. It's more of a learning. I'm more about learning and I like conversating with people and I don't want to play you to be like, yeah, I beat fucking or I lost it.
True. Well, that's like playing poker. I get it. There's a strategy to it. Like for me, I played chess when I was young with a bunch of people, younger kids, whatever, or even older, that they have high ratings or whatever. And then you can learn all the different combinations and all that. For me, I'll tell you exactly how I play. I'll trade piece for piece right to the end, and then I'll figure out the outcome of the game, or in this case, the end game after. If somebody values a queen, that's what we're trading. You value your rook, that's what we're trading. Because the object of the game, more times than not, is to capture the king. The king's never there to fight. But it's a fun game. And like B said, that's where it is. It's usually what we chat when we're around it,
Every time you come up here, it's you say some powerful stuff, Dom. So even if you don't agree with anything I do or some of the things I say, I still learn something out of it, or it's something I can apply to life. It's not just about learning too.
Well, that's the secret, Charles. I don't come here thinking I should agree or disagree with you. I take it for what it is.
I'm all about how can I elevate myself and better myself, and it ain't just self. I want to try to help other people, but in reality, the best person that could help someone is their self. That's just
I appreciate the perspective.
trying to learn more about these different salts and stuff the body needs, like minerals and stuff to keep your body, the alchemy of the body. And what I started using more more natural salt. I see a difference. So I didn't realize how big salt is for the body. I'm not saying drink the damn stuff, but that's what it was said in that book I was reading. And they were talking about alchemy and how certain salts and I don't want to misquote it because I don't remember everything that was said, but it definitely was about the alchemy of the body and the balance. That's another thing. People should be able to tell what your body is asking you for, what you're lacking.
Yeah, that gets back into foods. You can taste which salts these plants are creating.
I use that Himalayan pink salt. Comes in rocks. And I just break it down. It's better than that. I forgot Morton salt. Oh my God. When I looked up Morton salt, I said, man, you know, the side effects and negative stuff with that salt. And it's not even all natural salt.
Right.
Screw you, Mortons. I like this picture. It'd be dope to be able to spread your wings physically and fly. I know it's a spiritual, but yeah, that would be dope.
For sure. Yeah, the three-dimensional thinking of a bird has to be just amazing, because we can only move in a very limited manner, but birds, they operate on completely different, like, solid substances, and their awareness of their environment, it has to just, it would be mind-blowing for a bipedal a bipedal human to be able to spread wings and soar on air currents and move three-dimensionally like that.
Drones give a quick simulation of that, even though not having all those other experiences of actually feeling the air, but being able to see it kind of like through a bird's eye view, through a camera that's attached to a drone's camera. It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different perspective, but yeah, that would be somewhat special and different if you could literally even experience the air being up there and having a bird's eye view, opposed to, when people say go down a rabbit hole, or even go downwards, be the observer up high.
Mm-hmm.
But to this, what you're saying about this picture here, Charles, there might be a lot of reason why everything's aligned with gold. The halo, all that gold. Can you imagine the conduit that thing must be? That's why they used to show certain pictures of Egyptians, like the pharaoh, whatever, and they would have like a triangle, people holding gold around them. So who knows what they were able to download with that energy, if it's a download process.
Building off of that, silver is I believe it's the top conductor, definitely top reflector, but it oxidizes more easily than gold. Gold is gold is a noble metal. But yeah, I would be curious as to what that level of energy transfer could be capable of.
Mm-hmm. And they probably would have to find out what type of person comes in with that gift that they can consume or harness gold, whether it's on their neck, on their arms, or probably, like I said, consume it. Or think about what we do with computers. They need parts of that. So again, this opens up things such, when people do sigils and they can put it underneath their bed, put underneath their car seats. There's a lot of things you could do with sigils if a person actually knows how to harness it, or at least are aware how it affects one. Goes back to, I think, even in farming now, I think people are starting to slowly share, what is it, copper rods for certain types of plants. I guess it all depends on where you put these copper rods.
Yeah, generating energy fields and energy matrices.
More energy work opposed to material work, even though the material has to play a role so we can, in our awakened state, value it. I heard the other guys, a person sharing the other day on YouTube about what is that language when you're in that sleep state? What is it written? Is it with the senses at all?
So I gravitate towards that manner of energy work in the garden, and also in our realm. It seems to me that if you were to build it of the world, you're manipulating the energy of the world, and you're not. It doesn't complete a circuit from within to without. If you're utilizing this copper, you're not producing that energy yourself. You're almost manipulating the physical.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea of a lot of grounding, whether it be like silver based bed sheets or whatever, so you could ground yourself, or copper wire based. But again, it seems off. There seems something off in the code. Just with the engineering and the mechanics of it, let alone if you have a copper civilization or a fucking gold civilization, you almost have to have slaves.
Yeah, a servant. Yeah, slave, servant. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
So at the highest of levels, yeah, servants and skilled laborers serving. But I mean, the probability of that, and again, the matrix coordinates and the swarf, the dross, the excess of trying to reach that pinnacle. There's too many hell realms created with copper tech, with gold tech, unless you're picking it off the surface, like the natives said that, this is ours. Anything under the surface belongs to, whoever it belongs to. It's a fine line.
You're talking about earthly beings opposed to underground or above.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are getting, in previous ages, it was more grounding, but now we're getting closer to more of an air age. Grounding is needed because a lot of people are going to be very airy. Think about our technology. It's all up in the air. So the earth, if people still want to have that balance experience, both the physical and, like you were saying earlier, we're chatting on private, the mind, they're going to have to bring some of that back down. A lot of us aren't grounded in a lot of ways. We're eating foods that, I can't speak for you, B, but for myself, I can. I'm not always eating the right foods that help ground me. But that also reveals if I'm not emotionally, developed.
I hear that. That's one of my teachers is emotional eating.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm with you on that one. Yep, I know what I'm doing, and of course, I play with the hemispheres a lot. The dopamine I get being online. That's all on me. Nobody needs to tell me that. I already know that about myself. What I do with it, that's different. Thanks, Charles. Are you saying to eat salt or your fingers? Which one?
No, I was just showing that it's kind of soft. I used to use that Morton's garbage until I started to get big into taking my temple more serious when, health is the true wealth, not money. even though you need money to buy the products or even the seeds to start growing your own.
Mhm. Yeah, and that opens up what is all the parts of health, physically, emotionally, and mentally. You know, are we healthy mentally? Are we healthy physically? It's a fine combination.
Yeah, on that note, healthy energy to you all. It was great talking to you and sharing the time.
Later, B.
Later.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, B. I'm trying to oh, I guess Don left too.
I'm still here. I'll be taking
Oh,
off
I
after the stream
forgot. I
myself.
had it on. I had it on. Jeez, trying to do two things at once. Sometimes it just don't work out. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. So I could go in the other room where all this noise. See, I don't be lying when I say I be cooking. Some fresh. Some pork. Who wants some swine? That good old sweetie swine. My roommate loves swine. Hey, when you're on your way out, exiting here, why not eat what you love? Because you won't be present much sooner.
Charles, I'm going to be taking off myself too. Again, thank you very much for always hosting. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Dom, man, for always sharing wisdom. I appreciate it.
And maybe one day if you want to, I don't know if you have a Facebook account or whatever, or maybe I eventually get a hold of you and we can stream and have a chessboard over here and you can have a chessboard over there, or we can even play checkers.
Okay.
Ciao, Charles. Have a beautiful day, okay, my friend?
You too. Just give me 1 second. I gotta remember 2:15. What's today? Sunday? The day of the sun? Manuka honey. I want to try to get some natural honey. They got this guy has a beehive in the town next to the city I live in. I think I'm gonna grab some. But I gotta wait all the way, until September, I think. Well, I guess I'll end it here. I mean, I thought we were gonna cook today, but I guess not. Yeah, I want that local honey. People say support your local growers or local people. I agree. They freaking blocked my videos, man. I knew YouTube was gonna do that. Super blocked my shit. Yeah, being a beekeeper must be kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll end it here and then, because I don't think anyone else is coming up. So I'll probably end it here and go live later or something. I don't know. Man, they striked you. Yeah, YouTube's ridiculous with stuff. The things they strike people for. The crazy part is, I see bigger channels getting away with it. It's fucked up. But it's the game you gotta play when you're on their platform. Until someone in the community creates a platform that they could tell the government to go screw themselves. We're stuck using other platforms. Yeah, I wonder if Marcel, he has a dope garden. But yeah, peace out, everyone. I'll go live in a little bit. I'm just gonna get a few things done, and I'll have another open panel. Maybe people will be more free later. I want to get a huge panel going. I could fit, I think, 10 people, 15, something like that. But yeah, I have yet to pass, I think it was 8 people or 7. Look at where Satan is, right near the poop chute. They say Satan is where the flies are, right? So wouldn't the lower part of your body is where all the garbage goes? Satan is poop. That's why he's got flies. Anyway, peace to everyone, and I'll check y'all later. I'm gonna have to look, Melissa. Maybe it should still be there in the Cash App. I'll look for it. I'll check. I haven't been looking in there, or because, but I'll look and see if it saved it. Pretty sure it did. But peace everyone. Appreciate you all, and I'll check y'all later.